Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you too, my man.
Where are you? Are you in Vancouver?
Yeah, I'm born and raised, and I just bought an apartment in Vancouver, so I'm going to stay there as long as I possibly can.
You just bought an apartment in Vancouver, so things are going very well.
I guess the lyric in Lalala, bankroll so low, is... I remember Ari, like the producer Y2K, he was like, "You were not broke when you wrote that line." I was like, well, maybe no money needs to stay a kid with no money, so.
I guess so. How did you start making music in the first place? Was it back in, like, were you making music in school, in high school or something like that?
No. I remember my brother, he used to like always try to convince me to make music, and I ended up just meeting up with a couple of friends. Dan, my DJ, we were hanging out at my house. We got really bored. Ended up walking or driving over to my friend Seb's house, and I pretty much laughed over a beat with auto-tune. And immediately it was like more of like an epiphany, I guess, when it was just like, damn, this is kind of what I want to do for the rest of my life. And, you know, I didn't really expect to get this far at all. There's no doubt in my mind. I mean, I just do it because it's fun. But, I mean, I guess Lalala was kind of a grand success, to say the least. So,
but you had one before it, right? You had a pretty big hit before that.
I have
right?
a couple relatively big songs. They're not like massive, ginormous, you know, like smash your head in the table radio hits. But like Lala was just like ridiculous.
But you had Yo-Yo Tokyo in 2017, right?
Yeah, that's true.
It went viral in China. I mean, like that got pretty big.
Yeah. So it's weird because I deleted it off SoundCloud, and that was before like Spotify was popular. So I have no idea if, you know, like North America would have enjoyed the song, but in China there's something called Wangyi, which is NetEase, and essentially I just went viral over there because of this dude named Jackson in the TF Boys. He's like some 16-year-old kid that danced to one of my songs during his televised 16 party, or what, Sweet 16, that's what they call it, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. How did he find your song?
I have no idea.
Right.
See, that was like post Jackson TF Boy age. So I just woke up one day and I was going through midterms, and I was super depressed midterms.
Yeah.
And some girl was like, "Hey, you're famous in China." And I was like, I might as well look into this message. She had 0 followers, only followed me on Twitter. And I was like, maybe that makes sense, because like the VPNs and, you know, the banning of apps in China,
Yeah,
etc.
the Great Firewall.
Yeah, the Great Firewall. So I was like, so I looked into it, did some research, and it was, you know, interesting. I was like, wow, this is ridiculous.
How did you really react? Like, how did you really react when you found out that you were, because you were going through midterms and you're famous in China?
That was just about the time where I was working on a song with this producer, and he kept on getting me to redo it, and I was like, maybe I'm just not good enough for this. And I was like, all right, maybe I should just quit. Luckily, that happened, and then I had a couple friends, foreign exchange students from China, in my program. So I talked to them about it, and they were like, "Oh, like this is legit. You should really capitalize on this." So I figured out WeChat, I figured out Weibo, figured out like the streaming service, and just kind of reached out, and I met this dude named Luce in Shanghai, and he's like some other Canadian dude from like Hamilton, Ontario, that just like is a promoter in China for like all international acts pretty much. And we just became friends. He brought me out there, and the rest is kind of history after that.
And you went over there, and you were. I mean, it's like a movie, man. Like you go over there, and you're like, you can walk down the street in Vancouver. You can go to Tim Hortons.
Yeah.
You get on a plane, and you're playing gigantic shows.
It was ridiculous.
That's crazy.
So like, I remember the first show, Dan, DJ, I hit him with the water for the classic rapper move, and didn't know like any of my lyrics. And this was like maybe the 4th, 5th solo show that I've ever done. And I got water on the CDJs. I'm like, well, what am I supposed to do now? So I started doing push-ups. And then there was like 800 people there. I think it was the most inspirational point of my, you know, musical career that like made me want to become more of a rapper, I guess. And then someone also got my name tatted on their neck, and I was like, all right, now I'm gonna feel like if I don't.
So why did you delete everything?
Well, I don't know. The song just didn't perform as well on SoundCloud. So I was like
the song that became really famous in China, the song that kind of, it didn't do as well as you wanted it to do.
Yeah, in North America, it did terrible, to be completely honest.
Yeah.
And then I was like, all right, whatever, I'll just delete it. Because back in the day, when I first started making music, I would just release a song every week. And like SoundCloud is super easy. You can literally just like press upload and you don't have to do anything. And that was before like streaming platforms and distribution services like were, you know, the primary.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was just at school, I would make a song, just drop it like right away. And then I would just keep on doing that. And then I guess in China, all my songs like back catalog, like super late or super early, were like popping on there. And I was like, damn, this is ridiculous. Some kid named Sun Kumo in like Chongqing province is like the reason why like all my music is up there. And I've told him, I was like, whenever I come, I have to meet you and I have to like give you my thanks, because I think without him, I wouldn't have been popular out there, and then I don't know if I would have continued making music.
Crazy. Have a drink of your tea. I can tell you've been so good and talking to me, but I can tell you're dying for a cup of tea. So
Yeah.
I'm glad you're getting a sip.
No,
there.
thank you. Is there any way I could get some more hot water?
Yes, we'll get you some more hot water. You know,
Thanks.
and it's cool. They can just bring it in while we're talking. Don't worry
Perfect,
about
thank
it.
you.
Tell me about how Lalala came about. It was like I heard it was like a Cardi B. So I like it like that by Cardi B.
I mean, yeah. So I don't know why, but my like voice sounds pretty decent with, you know, Latin instruments.
Yeah.
I have this other producer, Downtime, that he would always send me like, you know, like a Latin or a flamenco guitar type beat, I guess.
Yeah.
And I would be like, damn, this sounds amazing. So I pretty much sat down with Y2K and I was like, let's make a 130 BPM song that people can jump to, because some of my music is like kind of hard to digest because it's around like the 2000s rap sound, like a 50 Cent kind of vibe. But and like Lentra, my roommate, my main other producer, we make like really wonky, different sounding music, and I was like, let's just make a banger. So I sat down, he started playing this riff, and I was like, yo, that's really good. And then he went back to something else, and I was like, yeah, keep that. So then we kept that, and then I just immediately was like, nah, and it just sounded good. And he was like, yo, go in the booth and record that melody. And I was like, okay. So I went in there, and then no, I guess I wrote the first 4 bars, and then went into the booth, and I literally, like, that first take is the actual like organic take. Recorded that, and then he was like, no, I was like, yo, we should make this song ridiculously catchy and say the same thing a bunch of times. And that's pretty much how you make a catchy song. And I was like, I haven't done a song where I've said la la la. And then we were choosing between na 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 and something else. And then I was like, let's just say sha 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 because it sounds cool. And then that was pretty much it. That was the hook. And then we did the hook. We had it done. We did the hook in like 15 minutes, and then the song was pretty much just like, all right, the song's like a success, I think. You know, we think it's really good. And then he kept on pushing me. He was like, yo, we should finish the song. And then we just met up one other day and we finished it, and that was pretty much it.
I tell you what I find amazing about that story is that, like, you can make all this music, you know, and make, as you say, kind of weird music, kind of early 2000s style hip hop music, and then one day decide, I want to make a hit song, and you just kind of know internally how to do that, and you just did it.
We didn't expect it to get as big as it is.
But you knew you wanted to make a banger. You knew you wanted to make
I wanted to make an easily digestible song that people can jump to. That's pretty much, that's all. That's like what I wanted to do.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't like, listen, I know exactly how to do this. I know exactly how to make a song that has 7 trillion views. Come on.
I know how to make a good song.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, I know how to make a song that's relatively catchy, and I don't know. I think everything just like honestly kind of worked out, to be completely honest. Like, I wasn't expecting it to be as nearly as big as it is, but it is a good song. It's undeniably catchy.
Well, that's what I was trying to say, right? Like, I don't know if you heard what I was saying off the top, is that there's a lot to talk about in terms of how you got this song out there, but it's not like it's not a great song. Like, it's a banger.
Catchy, yeah.
It's a cool song. So what is the story here? Like, I heard you put it out, and like, I can't figure out what actually happened versus what people say happened versus what you say happened. Mm-hmm. Like, I heard, like, you told people you were Ariana Grande's cousin or something like that.
I can't remember the specific stories, but I remember I paid Dan. I was like, hey man, here's like $400. Can you, or whatever I paid you. What did I pay you? I don't know what I paid you. But yeah, ended up giving him.
Dan says it's $100.
$100.
Yeah.
All right, sorry, bro. Well, it was like 10. It was 10 paragraphs. So I made him write 10 paragraphs because he's a way better writer than I will ever be. And I was like, just make some stories up. Ari and I came up with like ideas. One was like, I was Y2K's Jewel Pod delivery dude from Uber Eats, and then he was like, "Yo, just come in and make a song," and we just like made a bunch of random stories up, and pretty much sent him to every publication that we knew and we had a connection at, and just hope for the best. I mean, I don't think though, the publications really made too much of a difference in the song's like success in its entirety. I think, the TikTok is really where it popped off, but it was actually kind of fun because we don't really have like a story, to be completely honest. Like I could, I rap about not having money and then sometimes having money and then going back to not having money. I just really, whatever comes out of my head. So truly, like, yeah, we just kind of made stories up. It was funny. I really like. Was
it just purely because it was a funny thing to do, like kind of trolling them, or was it like, or did you kind of know, like if I do this might.
It's more interesting than like Baby No Money comes from Vancouver. He's cool, yeah. Or it's
his
like
name's Alex.
Baby No Money used Tinder with super likes, and and then I remember
I believe that one.
Yeah,
I read that one in the Rolling Stone article.
Sometimes when you're bored on Tinder, like my Tinder doesn't work for me. I don't know. Maybe I don't know why. I swipe right on everybody just to see if I like get matches, but I don't get matches anywhere. But it's a shame. So I remember I did buy some super likes. And
super likes are like if you, I don't know, man. Sorry, I don't do it. I don't do it. So,
no, so
I guess I should feel good about it, but I don't.
Yeah,
do it. So,
you definitely should feel good about that.
So you swipe super likes is you let someone know that you really, really like them.
I think it's kind of like a little too thirsty, but I mean, for the most part, whatever. I guess, right?
It increases your chances of getting matched.
It like pops up in their like front page or something. I'm not too sure. It pops up on their like swiping feed.
Right.
So
I'm just trying to look around to see who's laughing at me in the room right now for not knowing about what super likes are. Anyway, go on.
But yeah, so you get the super like and you like, and then I guess it's like, oh, this person like spent potential money on me already. I guess like I don't know. Like I don't really use Tinder, to be completely honest.
Right.
But increases the chance potentially of the match being match made. Then you send them a link. You're like, look, I just dropped a song.
Right, that was the story you told in this thing.
Yeah.
But that didn't happen, did it?
I mean, I did it a couple times, but it wasn't enough. Like, that was just like me passing, super bored, like on the couch after a long night, just like swipe right and then see if anything happens. But like, no, yeah, it definitely did not happen.
I get a kick out of it, man. Like I get a kick out of interviewing you and while I'm talking to you, and you seem like super genuine, and I don't mean that. Like you seem like a really a great guy and like genuine. But I was prepared to come in and for you to be like, hey, my dad's a buffalo. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually composed the song on a Sega Genesis in 1988 that I turned upside down, and I
just rewired it. All the sound bits and everything.
And really, I just played Sonic the Hedgehog backwards, and that's the song that came out. That's all it is.
Yeah, Lalala, just Sonic.
You mentioned earlier that the song kind of, like all that press stuff is kind of a cool story for me to honk on to. But what really blew the song up was TikTok.
Yeah.
So we talked to a couple of kids who actually found the song on TikTok. Do we have the clip? Take a listen.
How I like that. Put that Gucci on my body. Now she try me. Whoa, pop the Lucy Gucci. I'm Oliver Gray, and I'm 10 years old.
I'm Charlie Weitzman, and I'm 7.
When was the first time you heard Baby No Money?
Well, my friend was playing it at the park, and I liked it. There's a dance on TikTok about it.
I know about the video like that. It's really, really, really famous, and it's on TikTok. And it's like really, really, really good. I can't explain the rest of it.
La la la, how I try like that.
That's a clip of our colleague's kid and his friend talking about your song La La La. That's them out there, right? They're can you come over a little bit closer to the desk there? That's Charlie.
You guys are cute as hell.
That's Leo right there. Those are the kids who are in that thing right there.
That's crazy.
How does it feel hearing that?
Man, I never expected my music to like really make that much of a difference, to be completely honest. So, I mean, minus a little bit of swearing in it. I mean, I wouldn't say it's like the most 7-year-old song, but but for the most part, like, it's crazy. Like I don't. My parents are just like kind of confused what's going on. Also, I originally I was going to school for kinesiology, and I wanted to give back and like help people. Because I broke my back in grade 12, and then I wanted to...
You broke your back in grade 12?
Yeah.
How'd you do that?
I was playing rugby.
Oh man.
Yeah, it was kind of an L. But
That's the kind of thing that'll take you out. Like that's the kind of thing that'll take you out, and you got to find something. A friend of mine broke his jaw really bad when we were in grade 12, and he taught himself the mandolin and became like really proficient on it.
Really?
Yeah, because he had nothing to do.
That's crazy.
So is that how you learn music?
No, not really. I mean, I broke my back, and then I used to be a swimmer, and then I had to kind of give up everything, and I was like kind of fully depressed for a while.
I'm so sorry, man. That sucks.
No, it's all good. I mean, you need a life-changing moment for your life to change, and then I don't know. When I made a song, I was just like, damn, this is really fun. And I just remember that specific moment being like more fun than I've had in the past like year. So that's probably why I just stuck onto it. It was just like a good feeling. But yeah, I always wanted to just help people, long story short. And, I feel like I've really helped a lot of people with my music. Like I have tons of messages saying like, look, like, you like put a smile on my face every day. And it's just like, damn, like, what? Like, this is ridiculous. So it's like, it's kind of sick. And then, I meet people that like, really listen to my music and really take a lot of pride of listening to my music and like are really happy about listening to my music. And it's just like ridiculous because I just make it in my bedroom and I don't leave my apartment. And like, I just drink coffee and just around, to be completely honest. And it's just so cool. Like, it's interesting.
Does that change when the songs get big like this? Like, is there more pressure to do it again?
I mean, I can die happy already. I have a platinum single. I don't really care. But, I mean, obviously, like, what else is there to do in my life right now? I've already done a lot. So it's like, sure, another single would be cool. Another big record. Yeah. But if it doesn't happen, then I'm the Lalala guy. I'm going down.
I want to ask you something a little heady. Is that like, I feel like what you're able to do is that at one point there was like a path to success in the music industry. And it was, you'd play a show, you hopefully get discovered by some label. The label would sign you. The label would get your songs on the radio. Enough people would listen to the radio. You'd get famous. You'd get, you'd sell CDs or you sell records and you'd have a career.
Yeah.
And then when streaming happened, I think everyone was trying to figure out how to do it. You know what I mean? Like, and there's still this model that people think they have to do. You get signed to a label and the label will get you on a playlist and the label will get you, numbers. It might even include your, might even like get your numbers up a little bit more than they inflate your numbers or something like that. And I think what's really impressive about this is that like you and a couple of other people, but you have really found a way to circumvent all that stuff. What does that mean to you? What have you learned from that to be able to kind of like be part of this thing without being part of the industry?
When I really grasped the online marketing tactics, I think it was about 16 months ago. I kind of just figured out what I needed to do. I was like, damn, this is easy as hell. Like, I was really kind of shocked. It's really tedious. It takes a lot of time, but I mean, it's as long as you just like hold decent relationships with everybody like always, if you're just a nice person, people just want to kind of help you out. And I think, me being independent allows me to just do whatever I want. And like, I don't ever want to really listen to anybody, to be completely honest. Like, I just don't really care enough.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, sure, if not being on a record label doesn't take me to like soaring levels, I already am like kind of relatively happy with where I've gotten. I do want to go back to school too, so eventually there will be a potential fall off, and then I want to get a PhD in something, but just for like my sake, just why not, right? So I mean,
there are people in record label boardrooms right now trying to figure out what you did. You know what I mean? Like, you could say maybe a record label will take me, like, no. There are people doing A&R right now for record labels who are looking at you going like, how the hell did you do that? Like, I want to do that. How do we do that?
Yeah, I guess for the most part, like every time. So when the song blew up, when we sold the song to Sony because it was just moving so fast, and they were like, just give it to us. It's gonna be way bigger. And I was like, oh, whatever, for the benefit of my career. And then, I met with all the labels, and like I totally understand like the side of a label. I just don't need a label. I mean, I wake up with Lentra, we have a pot of coffee, we make a song, we post it, and the song may or may not be massive, or the song, kind of flops or does decent. But I do that every day. And it's like, if I just keep on taking stabs at the industry, with my music, then something's going to be big and something's going to grow. My business strategy from day one was like put out as much music as you possibly can all the time to be in everybody's ears, regardless if the song is amazing. And it's worked for the most part. So
It is, man. I hope you're proud.
yeah, it's cool.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, you too, my man.